Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
The North Fieldhouse at the Service Sports Centre will now be known as the first on-site fieldhouse thanks to a new sponsorship agreement. Jace Mackey has more on the facility's new name.
And with that $20,000 check, First On-Site Property Restoration is the new naming sponsor of the Service Sports Centre's North Fieldhouse. The cost of recreation in Lloydminster is covered in part by user fees and is subsidized by taxpayers, but the city is always looking to partner with businesses.
I think it's just great to see the businesses in our community give back and support the community, because it just helps to lessen the tax base cost to the taxpayers and keep reasonable rates to use the fieldhouse.
Last December, First On-Site bought Spectrum Restoration and was looking for a way to give back to the Lloydminster community. With the previous naming sponsorship ending, First On-Site thought this was a perfect fit for their company.
It's going to give us the community engagement, get a lot of kids out here, and for a lot of our staff, they've still got a lot of kids at that age where they're using these facilities for all the different types of events. So.
While this is an existing facility, both the city and First On-Site are happy that through this partnership, the fieldhouse will be available for residents to utilize into the future while keeping user fees low.
I remember Lloydminster without this facility, and just being able to see the number of new sports that can get developed, being able to expand the seasons to get those people that can have the baseball and the softball tryouts in the middle of February, not have to wait, like I said, for the ice to disappear from the curling rink to do it.
We don't have to wait for another facility to come open so that sports teams can practice in the winter when we know we could have a little snow and it could be 40 below, and be able to develop their skills, participate. It's just year-round recreation that we're able to offer our city due to the sponsorship throughout this facility.
First On-Site has been busy as of late as they've been working on the restoration of Lloyd Mall after a water line break closed the mall last week.
The good thing with being part of the bigger First On-Site company is we've been able to draw in people from where we needed to. So we actually had people in from Calgary, Edmonton, a couple other facilities to help right off the bat, and then being able to bring in some specialized teams from around the country to be able to help.
The First On-Site Fieldhouse is open to all ages during the Service Sports Centre's regular hours. To book the Fieldhouse or to view its schedule, visit lloydminster.ca/activities. For Primetime Local News, I'm Jace Mackey.
Border City residents got to enjoy the cool evening air and the products of many local vendors at Home Hardware's night market yesterday evening. Our Jasmine King has more.
Seeing a night market while traveling is what inspired the owners to start the first market in 2019. In their inaugural event, they had 30 vendors, and Thursday night they doubled that with 62.
The heart and spirit of a community are like truly the small, independent business owners. This is what creates like the fabric of a community, the personality of a community. And Lloydminster has so many talented ones, and we thought it would be great to be able to showcase them. And we have this big, gorgeous garden center. So we have this venue that, is open and available. And we loved the romance of like sort of the moodiness of like an evening market.
For Lanny Gerber, owner of LJ Creative, coming to the night market felt like coming home as she worked for Home Hardware in the past. She's excited she now gets the opportunity to show off the business she started during the pandemic.
I had so much spare time that I thought I need a hobby, I need to do something and put my creativity somewhere, so I started this little business. A local makers, this makes or breaks it for us, especially in the summertime.
Since they've had to wait 2 years to put this event on again, the owners of Home Hardware couldn't wait to offer their space to local vendors and give the community a nice night out.
I'm so proud of all of them. Watching all their Instagram stories about getting ready for tonight and everything they're creating, and they're so creative, and they haven't been able to do trade shows or markets for 18 months, a year. So for them to be able to get out safely and showcase their work to their community has been fantastic.
Another local business, Kiva Concrete, who were also invited to the 2019 market, got to display their products again Thursday night. It helps them inform the community of the wide range of services they offer.
We've kind of diversified and tried to get into a few other things with the furniture and countertops, and I was shocked at how the popularity of it their first year that they had, But I mean, that goes to show how well this place is run and the community-minded spirit that they have.
Throughout the night, most vendors sold out of their products, and Home Hardware is already looking forward to next year's event.
We'll have more primetime local news after the break.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Welcome back. Alberta musician Dan Davidson is looking ahead to the fall and what the entertainment scene will look like. Our Stacey Comer caught up with him for more.
Our friend Dan Davidson is back with us again today. Dan has been busy out doing shows, doing some writing, some producing, a little bit of everything. Dan, thanks for taking time out of your schedule to talk to us today. And tell us, what's it been like to be back performing in front of crowds? It must be so awesome for you again.
Yeah, it's been great. It's a little nugget of normalcy. You know, we've been waiting a long time, it seems, for this. And it's still, it wasn't a crazy summer. Compared to my normal every weekend all over the place across the country kind of a summer, but we had 5 or 6 shows, and I got to play the Calgary Stampede and the Together Again show here in Edmonton, as well as some small town stuff. So it's been really great. I see a lot of happy faces in the crowd soaking in some live music, and a lot of happy faces on stage being able to play live music again.
So is it still picking up though heading into the fall and into the winter? Are you getting more dates, or are people still being a little bit cautious?
Yeah, as events start to have to move inside, I think they are going to be fewer and far between, I think. So I think we'll see a slowdown in the fall unless something miraculous happens. But for me, yeah, I don't have too much planned after probably next week. I'm supposed to go to Europe and play, but who knows what's going to happen there in October. So, fingers crossed that we can have a little bit of a normal, fall touring season. But I think I'm more hopeful that we'll see, full steam ahead again in the spring.
Now, you talked about the fact that you've been doing some writing, and I see you've been doing some producing, an award actually for you and Clayton. Tell me about that first before we get into the stuff that you were producing. What is the award that you and Clayton are up for?
So we are in the second ballot now for the CCMA Producers of the Year award. So the third ballot is the final nominee list, but yeah, we're getting pretty close, and that was for our work on the Roadhammers comeback song, "The Boys Are Back at It." So that was something I got to do with Clayton, and Clayton and I get to do a lot of cool stuff together. We're always working together on different projects and all different genres. So yeah, it's nice it's my first time being nominated as a Producer of the Year for the CCMAs. Well, almost nominated, second ballot. So we're almost there.
Now, you have had some amazing success with the single Roll With It, which you worked on with Clayton and the Roadhammers. Is that still continuing to pick up steam? I see it keeps getting added to playlists, and the videos being played. So are you surprised at the success with that, or is it something where it just is a natural progression from what you're doing?
Well, there's never any guarantees when you release a song if anything's going to be successful, especially these days where radio play is really confusing and really hard to get. So yeah, I just kind of went in with no expectations, but it was the first time I've ever released a song to Australia, and to see that, all of a sudden jump into the top 20 in Australia and almost the top 10. I think it was number 11, I think, in country music in Australia, which is so insane, especially on a first release from an independent artist, completely unknown to Australian listeners. So that was really energizing. That felt really good. And it was a song that we actually were writing for the Roadhammers record, but when we finished it, it just kind of felt like a dance song. So we just went with it and got the guys to feature on it. And luckily they're close by, so we were able to shoot a COVID-friendly music video and get it out to the world. And now it's just kind of the little song that could. It's got a nice little engine that's chugging away, and we get new playlist ads all the time, even though we're not pushing super hard at Canadian radio right now with that one. But yeah, always gearing up for the next thing. I got another single coming down the pipes in about a month, and that's going to feature an Australian girl for the international version. And yeah, we have lots of big plans.
So you mentioned that you're doing some writing. What are you working on right now, Dan?
All kinds of stuff. A lot for my record. I've been focusing so much time on other people's projects lately. I've even been writing some Korean pop stuff. So I've got holds with Korean pop bands. I've been working lots on the Roadhammer stuff, writing a bit with acts like Tim Hicks and Gord Bamford and Tim and the Glory Boys. So there's just lots going on. Clayton and I have been producing a little bit. We produced a Saskatoon rock band called Weapons that's doing really well, and I just did a song for a local girl named Haley Benedict that's starting to get out there. So yeah, it's been a lot of just being creative and staying busy kind of a thing. But now I'm getting to the point where I'm itching to sort of rebrand and come out with my own stuff in a big way in 2022. So lots of work on that.
Well, Dan, thank you once again for speaking with us, and we look forward to seeing hopefully some shows around here again soon. And good luck over the next few months and into 2022. I know it's been such a challenging time, even getting back on the road, but we do appreciate you speaking with us and wish you the best of luck with everything in the future.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Now here's our Jasmine King to show us what's happening around the border city. Hi, I'm Jasmine filling in for Heather this week, and coming up this weekend in Wainwright there is a cruise in event and you can celebrate with them. This will be taking place from 1 to 7:30 near the Brick in Wainwright, and this year they will be donating to the Wainwright and District Health Foundation to purchase equipment for the Wainwright Hospital. There'll be a barbecue, silent auction, 50-50 draw, all the things you would like, as well as music and live bands from 3 to 6, and this will be happening this Sunday in Wainwright. Coming up September 11 in Marsden, they will be hosting their Fall Street Festival. This event will be taking place downtown Marsden from 11 to 6 p.m. where residents can take part in bouncy houses, a duct tape, face and body arts, and throughout the day enjoy a bunch of street snacks, food trucks, and outdoor activities for the whole family. It is free entry, and this will be taking place September 11th in Marsden. Do you want your chance to come check out some cool vehicles and some classic cars? Well, this is your chance with the Just Cruisin' event happening here in the Border City on September 11th. This will be happening from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Dedham Chrysler and Westridge GMC. There will be plenty of awards and prizes handed out and a charity barbecue to come and celebrate and take your time enjoying these classic vehicles. Well, that's all we have for this week in What's Happening. Have a great weekend.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
That's all for news. Sports is next, but first is a look at your closing market.
Today's oil prices are brought to you by First General Services.
Research from the University of Calgary shows that Alberta's agri-food industry may lead the way in post-pandemic economic growth. Jillian Code has the details.
Today on Primetime Local News, I'm joined by Karen Spencer. She's a project coordinator with the Simpson Center, which is part of the School of Public Policy at U of C. Karen, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, no worries. Happy to be here.
So you've released research talking about Alberta's agri-food industry and how that relates to the economics with COVID. What can you tell me about what you found?
Sure. So the Alberta Futures Project is a series of reports that really were trying to focus on various parts of Alberta's economy and environment to help Alberta look at how to recover and grow after the COVID year that we've had. And we focused on the agriculture industry specifically. What was really interesting was almost the very first thing that we found was that while most other industries within Alberta had suffered and dropped in terms of GDP, the ag industry actually had grown in exports and had grown in value. And so we felt a couple of things were really positive and really highlighting the potential for the ag industry to help kickstart the Alberta economy and get it growing and provide those jobs that so many people lost in the last year. And back in 2017, the Barton report pointed at this when it did point out already that the ag industry in Canada and of course in Alberta had above average growth rates and growth potential. This last year showed that as well.
And with the rise in exports, which areas of Alberta's agri-food sector saw the most growth?
So great question. I think pretty much everything, but of course, a big highlight for 2020 was grains. The grain market, of course, is one that relies on nature. And of course, last year we had a really, really good combination of factors with our ideal environment and conditions last year. We had exceptional yields. And of course, it just went to places globally, partly because some other countries that are exporters chose to cut back their exports in some ways because of concerns of lack of supply due to COVID and so on. So we took advantage of that. And so that was one big area.
Yeah, and unfortunately, most of Alberta's grain yields won't really be measuring up to last year's numbers. With that being said, how will that have an impact on the international trade market?
If you look at the long term, our forecasts are very, very positive. What we recommend, I think, in this report, and of course you've seen in recommendations elsewhere as well, is different methods to really support farmers during a year like this year so that they can continue to have that long-term positive impact on the economy and can get through the odd year like this year.
And looking towards the future, I know that Alberta's agri-food industry is already a very, very large industry in the province. What's next?
So that's a great question. I think one of the things we're seeing already with, I think, a relatively recent announcement on biofuels, actually a big biofuels facility being built in Fort Saskatchewan outside of Edmonton, is food processing. So we'll see a fair bit of additional food processing focus within our province and of course Canada in general. And those types of projects keep our product within Canada until it's processed. It produces more jobs for Canadians until that product is again exported potentially or used domestically. So that's a really good thing. And I think we'll see more of that. We'll also see hopefully governments working to tweak a few policies to help stimulate investment, help manage the risk profiles for farmers and ranchers. And then, of course, a big part of the industry is leading the sustainability challenge. And that in itself is kind of a part of the agriculture economy, actually, where it is a new market or part of our market where we're aiming to increase productively and add to the economy, but there's a demand now for how to do that sustainably. So what we've seen in the recent years is more of that, and with precision agriculture and other tools available to us, and we'll continue to see more of that as well.
Absolutely. Well, Karen, thanks so much for joining me today and being able to share this research.
Excellent. Thanks for having me, Jillian.
Now let's have a look at your egg prices. Now let's take a quick look at your 7-day forecast here. This weekend we will be seeing some precipitation starting on Friday, and Sunday will be ending off on a warmer note with a high of 24 with a mix of sun and cloud. But next week we'll be starting off warm with a high of 25 on Monday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday we will go down a couple degrees cooler with a high of 19 on Tuesday, a high of 15 on Wednesday, around a 80% chance of precipitation on Wednesday as well. And Thursday we'll be seeing a high of 13 with a lot more cloudier skies. Thanks again for joining us. Have a great weekend.